So in this video, we're gonna go over where you can grab coffee near the World Trade Center. Now, you might be thinking, okay, there's a ton of different places that you can grab coffee in downtown Manhattan, but sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially if you're trying to see where you could potentially work if you want to work in a coffee shop, or see where if you want to do like a meeting at a coffee shop. So I'm gonna go over a couple different options with you today in this video. So one of my favorites near the World Trade Center is called 4-5 Coffee, like 4 as in F-O-R, 5 Coffee. Now there is one right outside the World Trade Center in Liberty Plaza, so that's one location, but 4-5 Coffee is also in Brookfield Place, which is attached to the World Trade Center if you go towards the waterfront, so towards the west side in the underground tunnel. In the inside tunnel, you can go to Brookfield Place from World Trade Center, and then if you go upstairs in Brookfield Place, there's a location there with a lot of different booths that you can sit at and work. Now, this coffee shop gets very, very, very busy during like the work hours. So if you do want to work at this coffee shop for the day, I do recommend going there early because the booths are really, really great. However, there's a handful of booths and tons and tons and tons of traffic throughout the day because so many people work over there in Brookfield Place. So 4-5 is also pretty known for like these big giant like cookies that they have. They have all different flavors and they're super, super trendy right now. I've never had one. However, I've heard they're absolutely delicious and they seem kind of like similar to style to like Chip City. So that kind of style. So the next coffee shop I would recommend near World Trade is Blue Bottle. Now Blue Bottle is all around the city and in other cities around the world, but Blue Bottle is still probably one of my favorite coffee shops in New York to this day. I just love their coffee. So Blue Bottle's a little pricey. I do think the quality of their coffee is very, very good, but I do want you to know that in advance before going there because a little smaller portions and it is pricey, but very, very good high quality coffee. Now, Blue Bottle serves iced coffee in a hot coffee cup with a hot coffee cup lid. That threw me off for the first time I ever got Blue Bottle and ordered like iced coffee. So just be aware of that. And also the Blue Bottle near the World Trade Center, you cannot sit at that location. So just be aware of that as well. Like there's kind of like bar seating, but it's definitely not the coffee shop that you're gonna be like working at for hours and hours with your laptop. You're gonna need to go somewhere else if you wanna do that. It's more like a grab and go coffee shop. It's in a very high traffic, busy area where a lot of people are working, like Spotify is really right next door. So they definitely don't want people like working and sitting there. So the next coffee shop is Joe and the Juice. This is another coffee shop that has a good amount of locations throughout all of Manhattan. And not only do they have coffee, but they also have juice, hence their name. So they're actually located in the World Trade Center on the lower floor, and it's a pretty large coffee shop compared to most New York City coffee shops. And they do have a lot of seating. It's very kind of like a trendy vibe in there, and they do play loud music, so it might not be the best to work at for a long amount of time, but if you're like looking for a coffee shop to like meet a friend downtown, then that could be a great place to go. I've done that many times at that coffee shop, but it is really loud in there, so just be aware of that. Like you might have to be like talking over music. Joe and the Juice in general, throughout all their locations in Manhattan, they try to make it very like upbeat and fun, so that's what they're going for there. Also, the lighting is a little dim as well. I talked about Joe and the Juice, but now I'm gonna talk about Joe Coffee, because that's also another coffee shop in World Trade Center on the top floor. So you have to go all the way to the top floor for Joe, and that is also a pretty well-known coffee shop in Manhattan throughout multiple different neighborhoods. And I really do like their coffee there. It is spacious, especially compared to some of the ones on this list. However, it's still not really a coffee shop that you sit at, so it's definitely another grab and go spot. So it's right near the entrance of One World Observatory inside the World Trade Center. So if you're thinking location-wise, that's where it is. So Joe Coffee, you're definitely not doing a business meeting there because there's not really any room to do that. It's definitely more of a grab and go spot. So the last one I would recommend is Eataly. So Eataly has a downtown location in the World Trade Center, and I really do like this location a lot. It can get touristy, however, not even close to as touristy as the Flatiron one, but it is smaller, so that's something to keep in mind. Their cafe area where they serve the coffee is pretty big. The one thing I didn't like about Flatiron's cafe area is that it's right near the entryway, so it can get really, really congested in Flatiron. It's not like that in the downtown location. In the downtown location, you have to go up the stairs around the corner and it's like pushed to the back, so you have a lot of room for the cafe part. Now, one thing to note is that they don't have almond milk there, which I thought that's not really common for a New York City coffee shop to not have almond milk. And for people who rely on almond milk, you can't get coffee there if you want the almond milk, otherwise you have to drink it black. So that's just something to be aware of. But I'm pretty sure they have oat milk and then regular milk and skim milk as well. And of course, this is, Eataly tries to be an authentic Italian place, so they're making a good cappuccino. Plus, I'm not gonna lie, with Eataly, they have amazing, amazing desserts, so I do highly recommend you try one of those because they're to die for. So that's 5 coffee shops right near World Trade Center that I would recommend. So I'll have these type of videos for a bunch of different neighborhoods and a bunch of different hotspots in New York City, just in case you're looking for some recommendations. Sometimes Google Maps is just not enough to actually know where to go and why you should go there. So I plan on making a lot more videos like this about all different neighborhoods in New York City.